Slowly. It's a book we're going through on the podcast here. We're doing one chapter a week, The Heart of Christ for Sinners and Sufferers. And we are on chapter 4, which is titled Able to Sympathize, which comes from the Bible verse, Hebrews 4, verse 15. We do not have a high priest who is unable to sympathize with our weaknesses, but one who in every respect has been tempted as we are, yet without sin. Did you enjoy the chapter?
I did. I read it today. What stood out to you?
2 pieces.
Okay.
First, how the verse after the verse I just read. So we don't have a high priest who is unable to sympathize with their weaknesses, but one who in every respect has been tempted as we are, yet without sin. And then it says, "Let us then, with confidence, draw near to the throne of grace, that we may receive mercy and find grace to help in time of need." So I think often we're so resistant to reach out to God because of our sin, or like how dumb we are and the things we do and the things we think. And so we're like, God won't want anything to do with me, or he doesn't understand, and it's actually the opposite of that. And it says, because he was tempted in every way we are, that we should, with confidence, draw near.
Yeah.
And so that really stuck out to me. And then what stuck out to me was there was two short paragraphs that I'll read. First is, I quote, "Jesus is not Zeus. He was a sinless man, not a sinless Superman. He woke up with bedhead. He had pimples at 13. He never would have appeared on the cover of Men's Health. He had no beauty that we should desire him, as Isaiah 53 verse 2 says. He came as a normal man to normal men. He knows what it is to be thirsty, hungry, despised, rejected, scorned, shamed, embarrassed, abandoned, misunderstood, and falsely accused, suffocated, tortured, and killed. He knows what it is to be lonely. His friends abandoned him when he needed them most. Had he lived today, every last Twitter follower and Facebook friend would have unfriended him when he turned 33. He who will never unfriend us." And what really stuck out to me about that piece was often you can hear people that are really suffering say, like, no one understands me. No one knows how hard this is. And you're basically cutting off help when you say that, right? Because you're saying no one can help me to a certain degree. And Jesus does understand. He knows every temptation, whatever temptation you're dealing with, whatever sin. He felt that temptation, and he felt it to the fullest, which is the second piece of little paragraph I wanted to read. I quote, "1, Jesus' sinlessness means that he knows temptation better than we ourselves do. C.S. Lewis made this point by speaking of a man walking against the wind. Once the wind of temptation gets strong enough, the man lies down, giving in, and thus not knowing what it would have been like 10 minutes later. Jesus never laid down. He endured all our temptations and testings without ever giving in. He therefore knows the strength of temptation better than any of us. Only he knows the cost. Only he truly knows the cost." And so, even with temptation, we sometimes say it's too hard, to fight against whatever sin we're dealing with and stuff like that. You don't understand how tempting it is to deal with, my porn or, anger or whatever else like that. And that's just, they're lies, right? It's just not true. Like, Jesus does fully understand. And because he fully understands, we can draw near to him with confidence. And I think it was very encouraging. Great chapter. Your thoughts?
I had underlined the same thing as you, the whole line about, and I think that's where we've talked about a lot on here, maybe probably because of the book, but just in general, it's like the idea that God is, when Jesus was on earth, it was like, yeah, he was a human being, right? And we don't live that way. We don't embrace that. We don't understand. And I think that we turn away from rather than turn to. And I mean, that's why the book's a great book, because it's just this idea of like, hey, we literally, what was the first part you said? He, about running to him or turning to him. There was a specific term, with confidence, right?
Yeah.
Well, we don't do that. Like when we're in our lowest moment, we try to hide, right? We do the same thing as Adam and Eve did. So I don't know.
We're so naturally works-based salvation people. Like, we have a good week and we read the Bible lots and pray lots and talk to people lots, and all of a sudden it's easy to pray. And then we have a bad week in sin, and all of a sudden it's hard to pray, and we are scared to pray or talk to people. It's just like that's works-based salvation. Like, he doesn't work on the basis of how good you're doing or how not good you're doing. Like he's
just we live in our own head and our own heart, right? And then we're like, so anyways, no, I thought it was awesome.
Okay. Hey guys, if you enjoyed that episode and were blessed by it, would you be willing to support the show? That would help a lot in creating more content, improving the quality of the content, putting the production value, getting more guests on, and me being able to spend more time and energy towards it. So if you're interested in doing that, you can click up here and it'll take you to a support page. But you can also subscribe to the podcast by clicking over here and doing that. Thanks again for listening, and I'll catch you on the next one.